After Yuri left, I spent the day with Mom and Dad. When she asked, I told Mom that I had given the knife back to Yuri, but she had declined the lunch invitation. I didn't tell her about Yuri's coping strategy. I knew Mom could tell more had happened between Yuri and I, something that I wasn't telling her. However, she didn't push me on it or even bring it up beyond a gentle reminder that I could always talk to her about anything. That night, Mom didn't say anything when instead of going to my house, I got some blankets and began laying them out on the couch. She just handed me a pillow. Despite how uncomfortable the couch is to sleep on, I know it's best if I stay here again tonight. I do try to sleep, but it doesn't come. I don't want to deal with this right now. What she's doing is wrong and dangerous. Are you going to get mean again, roommate? You need professional help yourself. So now you're trying to help. Remember who you're talking to. Myself. When I mean to you, you're really being mean to yourself. But then why am I attacking myself? Why do I have these impulses that I have troubles controlling? Statement of question. You, and therefore I, don't know, which is why you should seek professional help. I don't want to talk to a shrink. I don't want to take meds. Hence why you're using my voice for this side of the debate with yourself. I don't have depression. I'm just under a ton of stress right now. Maybe it is just stress. Maybe it's something more. There's only one way to find out. It's embarrassing to think there might be something wrong with my head.
You still loved me even after I told you about my depression.
But what if it is just stress? Either way, you're not doing well. I'm managing. Third time you said that. You can't keep your emotions in check. You're suicidal, and you spend more and more time in your own head arguing with yourself. I don't mean to. You can't control it. You can't handle this on your own. I have Mom. She's helping me. She does the best she can, but knows you need more. That's why both she and the counselor suggested a psychiatrist. Why am I arguing with you over this? I'm usually arguing with you over why I shouldn't kill myself, and I always have the final say. What will happen when instead of using my voice on you... Birds. What will happen when instead of using my voice on why you should die, you use my voice on why you should live? I need professional help. But I really don't want to.
Maybe if you start going, it will encourage Yuri to seek help as well.
Yuri is going to die. I don't want Yuri to hurt herself. She does need help with that. Like you do. I don't want to think about all this. If that were true, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Round and round this continued in my head. I didn't get much sleep that night. Time for me to get ready for school again. It's been a couple days since I gave Yuri back her knife. Mom has been staying over with me at night so that I'm not alone and don't have to sleep on the couch all the time. I feel guilty about that, but I have to admit being home alone would be dangerous for me right now. I've continued to put off seeking professional help, though I still occasionally argue with myself over it. I haven't told anyone about what Yuri was doing to cope with her stress. We still sit together in the stairwell for lunch each day, but it's not the same. We tell each other when we've had a bad day, but beyond that we rarely talk. We mostly read quietly together. I fear she only has lunch with me because she has nowhere else to go. I know I don't have anywhere else to go. My ever-nameless tormentor apparently didn't feel guilty as he continues to go out of his way to shove me around. I eventually took a look at Natsuki's manga the other day. I found a series called Parfait Girls in it. It didn't look like something I would be interested in, but I was curious to know what Natsuki liked, so I started reading it anyways. While I'm not done, I have enjoyed it more than I thought I would have. I wonder if she liked this series because of her baking, or if she got into baking because of this series. I doubt I'll ever know now. Morning, Sayori.
Yet another day of playing this game again. I thought you were going to be more honest with yourself.
I am. I know I'm just talking to myself. It's just, walking to and from school is so lonely without you.
At least you're using my name again.
I suppose.
You should find someone else to walk to school with.
I don't have anyone to walk with.
You have Yuri.
You know things aren't good between us right now.
I know, and I'm sorry about that. I wish you knew what to do.
Besides, she lives on the other side of... I'd have to walk longer just to get to her apartment than it takes me to go to school. That's more time walking alone without you.
But maybe it would help you, or to not miss me so much to know Yuri is waiting for you.
I don't know for certain if I even want to give up this game. I arrive at our lunch spot to find Yuri already there, reading as usual. Hey Yuri, I had an okay night though. Mom stayed over anyways. How you doing?
Last night wasn't particularly difficult for me, but I coped.
And as you can see, there is no permanent damage.
I'd rather you called me if you were having difficulties.
I know, it's what I know, what I've always done.
You already know I think you should talk to a professional about it, so I won't say anything more now. You haven't even tried to make an appointment yourself.
I know.
I sit down on the steps and open my lunch. That has usually been the extent of our interaction during lunch, but today Yuri surprised me by speaking up.
I have something for you today. I considered not telling you about it. I'm afraid it will hurt you, like it did me last night.
She takes a deep breath.
But we're honest with each other. Here is the reason I had such a bad night last night.
She reaches into her bag and brings out a small sealed container. She opens it, then takes out and hands me a cupcake.
Natsuki sent me her cupcake recipe the day she died. It arrived in the mail yesterday.
I take a bite. Again, I can't even taste it, though I'm certain it's the same as what Natsuki used to make. All hail the new cupcake queen. Yuri hiccups as she tries to both laugh and cry at the same time.
Oh, hold on. The top fell off.
I can't help but laugh as she reaches back into the container and pulls out a strawberry, which she places on top of my half-eaten cupcake.
I wanted to add a little touch of my own.
How appropriate. No matter how inappropriate a strawberry recipe is. And thank you for sharing this with me. It does hurt a little, but it's also nice. Bittersweet, as Sayori would say. I'm also glad that you told me about why last night was so hard for you. If I had been the one to receive her recipe, I know I wouldn't have been able to make this. We are both quiet for a bit, and then Yuri returns to her book. I pull out the volume of Parfait Girls I'm currently on. I wonder what unlucky tragedy will happen to Minori today. Ouch! I cry out in pain as something hard and heavy lands right on top of my head. I look up above me. Great. I see him drop a piece of paper from the top of the stairwell down towards us. I take it and reread the note written on it. It said, "A gift for the litter." I look around and see what landed on my head. It was a goddamn rock. Picking it up, I see there's something attached. It was a piece of string tied into a noose. Suddenly, I'm back in that room, seeing my best friend hang there. I begin sobbing.
How dare you!
So, do you think the football team will try to get Yuri to join?
Probably not, though that was a very impressive tackle.
Kinda need to play with secretly shell on someone.
Yeah, it's always the quiet ones.
Too bad she had to get suspended because of it.
It's only a couple days, and even that, I think, was because policy forced them to. Oh dear, I just realized something. This song is playing, which means I need to shut it off before it messes with all the audio. Ugh, I still don't know why that happens. Once they saw the news, they were pretty understanding of what had happened.
I don't think that bully will ever bother you again.
Probably won't ever be having any kids either. Hey Mom, I'm back from school.
Welcome back, sweetie. I'm in the kitchen making dinner.
In the kitchen, I see Mom boiling up some noodles in a pot.
How was school today?
I've had better, had worse. Certainly was interesting today. Oh gosh, no, the sheen is shifted. Let's just see if it's still playing. Yes, it is. Oh wait, no. It was the Sayori version. Okay, we're safe. Yeah. I then tell Mom everything that happened during lunch. The cupcake, how it was Natsuki's recipe that was mailed to Yuri, having a rock dropped on my head, the noose tied to it, reliving the trauma of finding Sayori's body, what Yuri did to the bully afterwards.
Well, I can't approve of what Yuri did. Making fun of something like that is reprehensible.
She grabs a bowl full of sauce and begins taking her anger out on it with a whisk. After a couple minutes, she sets down the smoothest spaghetti sauce I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have some good news for you. Natsuki's body is being released to the funeral home today. The police were unable to find any next of kin, so we'll be taking care of it.
That's good news, in a way. She gives me a quick hug.
The funeral will be this Saturday. Is there anything special you can think of that she would want it done?
Yes, she would want it to be open casket. She mentioned it a couple times before.
Okay, I'll pass that on to the funeral director.
It's Saturday, Natsuki's funeral. I'm putting on my best shirt and tie. Seems like I was just doing this for Sayori's funeral. You just did. Yeah, it was only a little over 3 weeks ago since her funeral. You've lost 3 friends in 3 weeks. Yeah, I have. It'll be 4 weeks to the day since Sayori's death this Monday. You started with 4 friends. No, it's just a coincidence. I am not going to lose Yuri simply because another week has gone by. 4 friends, 4 weeks. Some cultures believe 4 is death. Superstition. I arrive at the cemetery with Mom and Dad. Natsuki's service is being held outside on the grass. I'm impressed by the portable organ nearby. There are rows of chairs set up. In front I can see her casket. I both smile and give a little sob at seeing that it's open. We arrived early because Mom and Dad had to go over some last-minute details with the funeral director. Since I had time, I went up to the casket to take one last look at Natsuki. Books often describe dead people during funeral scenes as looking like they're asleep. Natsuki didn't look asleep. They had done a good job on making her look nice, but her skin was the wrong color and she obviously wasn't breathing. Just like Mom, my biological mother, that is, when I saw her in her casket. Probably how Sayori and Monica would have looked if they could have been seen in a casket too. I gently reach out and touch her face. It's cold, lifeless. I don't know if I believe in spirits or souls myself, but I can see why some people do. There was no spark within her now. Was it extinguished, or just somewhere else? I imagine them together, somewhere. Natsuki laughing at some silly thing Sayori did while Monica plinks away at the piano. I imagine their surprise and joy as they see me walk up to them. You could. But it's just a stupid dream. Even if they are somewhere out there, I can't join them. I sit down on one of the chairs off to the side and wait. Mom and Dad finish whatever they had to do and come sitting down next to me. They just put their arms around me, but we don't say anything. Eventually, other people start arriving. Yuri was one of the first. I noticed she had on her sweater as always. I hoped that she would sit by us, but her parents sat on the other side of the aisle and she sat between them. The school counselor, a few teachers, and a couple students from school also came. Barely over a dozen people. It was such a small and measly gathering that had come to pay their respects for such an amazing and wonderful young woman. At the proper time, an official stood up in front and began talking. I couldn't pay any attention at all to what he was saying. My mind kept going over all the times I had spent with not just Natsuki, but the entire literature club. Writing poems, drinking tea, eating cupcakes, arguing over whether or not manga is literature. Even our attempts at trying to help and support each other as our numbers dwindled. Until now, there are only the two of us doing our best to hold on during this wave that seems determined to wipe all of us away. Yuri is going to die. I notice Yuri stand up and begin making her way towards the building that houses the restroom. Yuri is going to die. No. She's going to cut herself and she could die from it. She's just going to the bathroom. Look at how she's rubbing her arms. She's just... It's not cold out today. Even if she is, she's done it before. This could be the final time. If I go after her now and confront her in public, she will get angry with me. Better she's angry with you than dead. I'll just wait a minute or two and then go check on her privately. Yuri's going to die. I try to force a lid down on my fears as best I can. She's taking too long. I'll go in a minute. You okay, son? I suddenly have to be right back. I get up and walk as quickly as I can without drawing suspicion. I'm really glad the bathroom here is unisex. I can just pretend I had to use it myself. As soon as I enter, I immediately see the already large pool of blood growing quickly from underneath one of the stalls. Yuri's going to die. Oh god, Yuri!
Help!
I slip on the bloody floor. I futilely waste time trying to open the latched stall. I crawl underneath, drenching myself in the still growing pool of blood. On reaching her, it's obvious she had hit a major artery and was quickly bleeding out. I opened the door from inside to give myself room, then used my hands to try to stop the bleeding.
Sorry.
I can't tell if she's saying sorry or Sayori. Yuri's going to die. I suddenly remember my health teacher last year telling us the average human body holds 4 or 5 liters of blood. Looks like at least 10 on the floor already. The bleeding starts slowing down under my hands. It's not because you're holding it in better, it's because she's lost too much blood. No, she's just stopped breathing. Stay with me, Yuri. Remember our promise. She can't keep her promise anymore. Don't leave me. She already has. I can no longer feel her blood gushing between my fingers, only slowly seeping. No. She's gone. They're all gone. I'm the only one left. I'm all alone. You're not alone. All my friends are dead. You have Mom. You have both of your dads. Everyone around me dies. You are not the cause of their deaths. I have nothing left to live for. Yes, you do. I pick up the knife. Throw the knife away. I notice it's the same one I had kept in my drawer for so long. Go get help. The same one I've stared at so many times before. Mom and Dad are right outside. I put the edge of the knife right above the artery in my wrist. Think of what this will do to them. I imagine that scene from before. Natsuki and Sayori are laughing. Monika's playing the piano. I see Yuri walk in carrying cups of tea. She sets them down. The girls each pick up a cup and then stop on seeing the fifth cup that's still untouched. My cup. They're waiting for me. No, they're not. I slash deep into my arm with the knife. Gah! I wake up in a hospital bed to my surprise and disappointment. Looking over, I see Mom dozing in a chair, a Sudoku book fallen in her lap. She looks so exhausted and tired because of me. I looked up and just stare at the ceiling, listening to the beeping of the machines for I don't know how long.
You're awake.
I look over and see Mom has woken up and is looking at me. Hey, Mom.
Oh, sweetie, we thought we'd lost you too.
I know the answer, but I have to ask anyways. Yuri?
Don't worry about her right now. You just worry about getting better.
She doesn't want to tell me. She's afraid I'll try to kill myself again. I felt her blood gushing through my fingers, and then stop. Please just tell me what I already know.
It was too late to save her. They almost couldn't save you. If Dad had gotten worried and left to check on you when he did, we would have lost you both.
I lived because Dad didn't wait, like I did with Yuri. She did die because of me. What happens now?
Now that you're awake, the doctors will eventually come to talk with you. Try and determine what kind of treatment you need to make certain you aren't a threat to yourself. I'll stay with you if that's what you want. I've heard it can help you to have someone you trust be there as your advocate.
The Literature Club is gone. All my friends are now dead. But I have Mom, Dad, and soon my bio dad will be back from deployment. I know I'm not alone, but I still feel that way. Of course, Mom, thank you for always being there. I know you said not to say sorry, but I am sorry. Sorry for what I did, or sorry I'm still alive. I don't know right now. Maybe both.
I understand. For now, though, you take it easy and get some rest. You've lost a lot of blood, and even with transfusions, it will take time for your body to recover.
I lean back and close my eyes. The doctor comes and talks to me for some time about what happened. He refers me to, and I finally meet with a psychiatrist. I'm eventually diagnosed with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I spend a lot of time in counseling and start taking medication for my condition. You probably think this is the part of my story where I tell you that with counseling and medication I lived happily ever after. It isn't. Real life isn't like a novel where everything always gets resolved by the last page. It keeps going, and sometimes there aren't happy endings. It's been over 10 years now. I still bear the scars, both physical and emotional, of what happened to me back then. I still take medication. I still sometimes need to talk to a counselor. I still have that image of Sayori hanging by that rope burned into my memory. I still sometimes wake up in the middle of the night feeling Yuri's blood on my hands. I still randomly cry at times for the tragic loss of all my friends in the Literature Club. I know that I will for the rest of my life. Even as an adult, sometimes people reject me when they find out I take medication for a mental illness. I get stigmatized. But my friends and family, those who truly care about me, stick with me. They're always there when the bad times come back. And bad times always come back. With their support, I manage. Honestly manage my life. It's hard, though, to bear the consequences of everything that happened back then. So please, if you're thinking about ending your life, talk to someone you trust, anyone if you have to, about what you're thinking about doing. If you don't suffer from mental illness yourself, but know someone that does, remember that it's not their fault and they're not just weak. Try to understand that they suffer from something that is beyond their control. And finally, try to be nice to others. You never know who may be secretly suffering from a deep and hidden pain. Even just a simple smile or greeting might be what helps save the life of a random stranger that is contemplating a very permanent choice. Life is difficult. It is full of pain and suffering, and sometimes it can be hard to find happiness in it. But that doesn't mean you should stop searching. The Literature Club is a place where no happiness can be found, but I'll never stop looking.